Hey, and welcome back to my channel. Software engineering is almost the modern day equivalent of being a rock star. Everyone wants to be one. Software engineering is one of the most in-demand and lucrative job prospects out there, and the industry is constantly growing. In 2016, Forbes reported that there were 50,000 available jobs related to software engineering with a median salary of $95,000 a year. Those numbers have been growing exponentially since. Now, according to Indeed, entry-level software coders can expect a base salary of anywhere between $93,000 and $96,000 starting out. The average salary has now increased up to a whopping $110,000 a year. This should come as no surprise. The modern world revolves entirely around computers, more specifically the software that runs on them. The need for software engineers is constantly growing, and more applicants are entering the field than ever before. This means that competition is absolutely fierce, but there are also plenty of opportunities available for the taking. Additionally, companies are being more than generous with competitive and enticing benefits to maintain a high level of employee retention. While it is a high-pressure job with lots of responsibilities, you'll be at the forefront of the workforce, designing important systems and products that help the world move forward. Software companies typically also have progressive, laid-back atmospheres where employees are judged by output and performance and not beholden to punching in and out of a time clock. The big tech companies, the most well-known and prestigious to work at, offer the most competitive benefits and highest salaries. In this video, we're going to be looking at and comparing the salaries of software engineers at FANG, Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, and Google, as well as Microsoft, because it seems appropriate to compare Apple to Microsoft. We'll be comparing the salaries, bonuses, and equity of these 5 companies, but keep in mind that there are other benefits that software companies provide their employees beyond salary. Small things like relocation and commuter assistance, gym memberships, free meals, pet allowance, and most respectable organizations also offer health and vision insurance, health savings accounts, 401k options, visa sponsorships, and much, much more. These can make the job even more lucrative, but this is beyond the scope of today's video. Before we get started, as always, if you're excited, please consider liking, subscribing, clicking that bell. It's completely free and really helps us out a lot. Levels. The website Levels.fyi, huge shout out to them, is an incredibly valuable tool to roughly compare salaries offered by tech companies across similar experience levels. While each organization has a slightly different way of organizing their employees, this site labels and creates levels based on salary information and allows you to see the position's pay in contrast to comparable positions at other companies. It's a little hard to describe, it's easier to see in practice. Let's start out by looking at what entry-level software engineers make at these companies. Entry level. Software engineers begin somewhere in the middle of the company ladder. At Apple, the base software role is known as ICT2. This is followed by ICT3, T4, and so on. After ICT6, the engineering roles are split into Distinguished, Senior Distinguished, and finally Engineering Fellow. The other 4 companies follow a similar system. At Amazon, these levels are labeled SDE, at Google, L, and at Facebook, E. Microsoft also uses SDE, but has a different numbering system. Apple's entry-level ICT2 software engineers makes a base salary of $130,000 with a potential bonus of up to $15,000. They also get $26,500 a year in equity, bringing their estimated total yearly salary to $171,000. Amazon's SDE1 role base salary is $125,000 a year with a $17,000 bonus. Their generous yearly equity of $22,000 bring the estimated total to $164,000. An L3 position at Google starts at $131,000 a year with a bonus of $20,000. Google provides plenty of yearly equity at almost $40,000, bringing the total to around $191,000. At Facebook, an E3 level programmer starts at $123,000, a potential bonus of $14,000, and $43,000 a year in equity brings the total to $180,000. Finally, Microsoft's SDE role lands an estimated $158,000 a year with a salary and bonus of $111,000 and $17,000 respectively, in addition to $29,000 in equity. In estimated entry-level salary ranges, Microsoft comes in last with $158K. First is Google with a sizable $191K. While we couldn't find any salary date for entry-level engineers at Netflix, we also looked outside of Levels.fyi for more information. A contributor on the forum website Quora states that a lower-end base salary for software engineers at Netflix is around $256,000 a year, but it is now believed that Netflix only hires experienced engineers from now on. Mid-range. The mid-range software engineering roles are a little bit hard to contrast. Apple and Microsoft structure is weighted slightly differently, but we can still roughly translate them for comparison. On the other hand, Netflix has only one level of software engineer. Senior. On levels, a Netflix senior software engineer is listed with an average salary of $507,000. However, at Netflix, engineers are hired based on their skills and perceived market value, so yearly salaries in stock and bonus can vary wildly. At Apple, the ICT4 is also the senior software engineer, with almost $185K in base pay, a bonus of $25K, and $111,500 in equity. You could be looking at up to $322K a year. At Microsoft, a level 6-3 is known as senior SDE. They can expect to make roughly $224K a year from a base of $163K, a bonus of $26,000, and $34,000 a year in equity. At Amazon, SDE3 is a senior software engineer. They can expect to make an estimated $330,500 a year. Their base salary is $161,440 with an $11,000 bonus. In equity, they make roughly $160,000. Google's L5 role is also called a senior SWE, a base salary of $188,000 with a bonus of $38,000, and $130,000 in equity brings this role's estimated yearly salary to roughly $357,000 a year. At Facebook, the most comparable role is E5 with a rough estimated salary of almost $391,000. That's a base salary of $197K and a bonus of $35,000 and $158,000 in equity. The salaries here are pretty comparable, although once again Microsoft is at the bottom of the pack by a pretty large margin. Facebook leads with almost $400,000 a year, highest paid roles. Unfortunately, salary information for the top paying roles at each company isn't really provided by levels to FYI. Instead, we'll look at roles that do offer salary information and contrast them to comparable roles at other companies. After reaching Principal SDE, level 65 at Microsoft, you can expect salaries up to and exceeding $509,000 a year, $229,000 base salary in addition to a $76,000 bonus, alongside $202,000 in equity. At Facebook, an E7 level software engineer can expect a base salary of almost $267,000 alongside a $74,000 bonus and a $558,000 in equity. This brings the total of up to nearly $900,000 a year. Google's L7 employees make a base salary of $262,000 a year, combined with a bonus of $79,000 and $332,000 in equity. We're looking at around $665,000 a year. Amazon's level 7 role is known as Principal SDE. They bring in a base of $162,000 a year with a large amount of equity of $432,500. Amazon doesn't appear to offer a bonus, or at least it's not listed, bringing that total to roughly $595,000 a year. Apple's ICT6 role brings in an estimated $773,000 from a base salary of $271,000, a bonus of $65,000, and $437,000 in equity. While Google's entry-level software engineers are the highest paid, Facebook comes out on top overall in the mid and high paid categories. Microsoft consistently comes in last by a significant margin. At Netflix though, salaries range from $250,000 to $500,000 a year and higher. In terms of salary, Netflix is harder to rank due to the nebulous nature of their average. It's probably safe to assume that a software engineer at Netflix with a comparable skill to a specific level at a company like Amazon should be paid roughly the same. Overall, from my experience working as a recruiter in the technology industry, these numbers look and sound fairly accurate from what I've heard from my sources and network. So this was overall a really fun exercise to do. Those interested in scoring a job in software engineering will want to be on the lookout for jobs from Google and Facebook, as they're the two of the most prestigious companies in the world. Competition obviously is fierce. Still, you can use these numbers and compare them to offers you may get and use them to motivate you to move up the ladder in the world of software engineering. I hope you've enjoyed this fun video comparing the different salary levels of the big tech companies. If you have any questions or would like to share your thoughts about these crazy salaries, comment down below. If you enjoyed this video, again, please like, subscribe, and click that bell. It's completely free and really helps us out a lot. You can also add me at Instagram and TikTok at Preston_Park, as I try my best to post daily. Thanks again, and we'll see you on the next one.